right? We did one, and I faked them out, and so they did a great one. So one more time, don't you do it? Shalom! Welcome back. This is the way of truth through Torah. And guys, listen, the only way to truth is through the Torah, because the Torah is truth. The Torah is our walking, talking, living, breathing Savior who came to this earth and walked it out and showed us how to do it. And that's what we're supposed to do. Thanks, buddy. Oh, I thought you brought me a second cup. I'm like, I'm blessed. I'm a double cupper today.
Double cupper.
Wait, look what I found. Okay, so this is going to be interesting because
We're gonna
I prepared for a different Torah Parsha. So this is going to be so much fun, isn't it?
Yeah.
Let's start.
I was reading Mark all week, so.
It's going to be really interesting.
Oh, goodness. Here we go.
So, yeah, I'm ready for next week, and next week's going to be one of my favorite Torah Parshas. This one is not, because it talks about stuff. So my
Nocturnal
stuff. So my other unfavorite one was leprosy.
Yes.
Who wants to talk about leprosy?
But it is part of the scriptures. I wonder what we can find in this for our week. Like this Torah portion, while we're going through it today together, let's see what we can find to apply it to our lives.
Okay, let's do that.
You know what I mean? There's always something major.
I'm sure that they will find a lot.
If you guys say, oh, I know what it is, the nocturnal stuff. It's Grant. That was his week. It was nocturnal. Get out of the camp.
Okay, I'm going to start reading. That's what I'm going to start doing. Okay, Deuteronomy. We are starting in 21, verse 10. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. And guys, it's going over a lot of the rules and instructions for things to keep the camp clean.
Yes.
Keep your camp clean.
Listen, Yah tells us that he will not be around an abomination. So anything unclean, such as human waste, anything that proceeds from a human, is not clean, and it can't be inside the camp. That water sounds so good. Where's my water? My water boy didn't get me any water. Yes, I've got a water girl. You're fired, boy.
But my mom said.
Easy come, easy go.
My mom said water is the devil.
Water's the devil. Water's purity.
Gatorade!
My daughter asked me yesterday if water was flammable.
We had to explain to her that the gasoline could leak onto the water.
And make it flammable.
And make it flammable.
Gas.
So where would she get water
I told her
flammable?
everything's flammable. I said pretty much everything's flammable. She says,
Yeah, that's true, Dad.
Water?
Listen, okay, so if you're using hydrogen energy, it's explosive. It's more explosive than gasoline. So yeah, you're right. Don't ask me how. Somebody out there could probably tell us, but they are probably just sitting around going, these people are nuts. Okay, we're going to get started so that we can get finished.
Yes, let's do it.
When you go to fight against your enemies, and Yahweh your Elohim shall give them into your hand, and you shall take them captive, and shall see among the captives a woman, fair of form, and shall delight in her, and take her for your wife. Then you shall bring her home to your house, and she shall shave her head, and trim her nails, and put aside the mantle of her captivity, and shall dwell in your house, and mourn her father and her mother
A month.
a month of days. And after that, after that you shall go in to her and be her husband, and she shall be your wife. So guys, can you imagine being the woman who just lost your family, and you've been taken captive, and this man finds you attractive, and you may not find him quite so attractive, and you're going to have to become his spouse. That would be very hard. Okay?
Yeah.
And thank you, baby. And this is from, they've gone in to attack an enemy. They wouldn't be fighting them otherwise. So he's basically cutting off her hair, her fingernails, anything to do with her past, really, is what's going on here.
So a mantle of her captivity, is that like her virginity kind of thing? Or
No, it's some kind of probably maybe
okay.
like a yoke
Okay.
that she probably had on.
Okay.
Is my my understanding of it.
Right, because he doesn't take her till. Well, I don't know how that really goes.
Okay, so, and it shall be, if you are not pleased with her, then you shall let her go at her desire. But you do not sell her at all for silver, and you do not treat her harshly, since you have humbled her. So this was a virgin woman. She's never had a husband, never been with a man. You've humbled her. But if you liked what you saw, and guys, this just doesn't seem like this would be of y'all, but it is. But you like what you saw, you brought her in, you wanted to be her husband, and then you're like, I don't really think I like you that well. Think about it. I mean, that's what's going on here. You've humbled her. Will you let her go? You can't sell her and make money off of her. So don't treat her harshly. Treat her right.
Well, and this is kind of a sad situation because now she's no good
That's
to
right.
most men. I don't know if there's like an ex-wives club or something where ex-men or, but
Ex-wife,
they've taken her away
club.
from her family, and now she's not a virgin. And I mean, I guess at least he's letting her go, but with what?
Yeah, it seems
This
very
is really weird.
It seems very unfair.
I know they're enemies, but still.
Yeah, it still doesn't seem fair. When a man has two wives, one loved and the other unloved, and they have borne him children, both the loved and the unloved, and the firstborn son is of her who is unloved. Then it shall be on the day he makes his sons to inherit his possessions, he is not allowed to treat the son of the beloved wife as the firstborn in the place of the son of the unloved, who is truly the firstborn. So, Yah is always, he's about fairness. Everything he does is about fairness. Don't you go to sleep.
I think maybe that's kind of a theme throughout this Torah portion.
It's fairness.
Is
Equal
fair,
scales.
this equal scales. The hierarchy as far as your home, everything seems to be pretty. And even in the case where, I guess her other thing would have been death, because if they were plundering a group of people, usually they put them under the ban.
So if everyone was put into the ban, yes.
Right.
But evidently they were taking wives from this group. So,
dirty ones comes.
yes,
But
truly.
at least he gave instruction for it.
Yep. And listen, if you've got a question regarding life or rules or things that you're not sure about in life, why do you keep getting that bark?
Because
on
the
your
action
face?
is needed.
Well, I keep acting and taking it off. But any questions you have, raising kids, disciplining kids,
Putting away your wife.
everything, it's in here.
Yep.
But I'm in verse 17. We're making progress. But he's to acknowledge the son of the unloved wife as the firstborn by giving him a double portion of all that he has, for he is the beginning of his strength. The right of the firstborn is his. He's got legal heirship, basically.
I wonder if this is like from, like Abraham's time kind of stuff, where they had like the different sons, with the different wives, and even up to Esau and Jacob, and then you kind of see a little.
Well, first of all, what you see is if you have two wives, one's going to be loved more than the other.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, you're just not going to see that a man's like, oh, I love you, honey, and I love you, baby.
too.
Think about, who was it, Yaakov?
Yes.
Jeez
He
Louise.
had, Rahel and Leah, right?
Mhm.
He
And then
loved one more than he did the other.
Yes.
You know?
He desired one, and he was cheated out of the one he desired.
Yep.
So would he have just had one? And had he just had one, think about this. Rahel only had 2 children.
Yeah.
Her womb was closed up at first.
Well, and he took the role as the firstborn son too, by stepping in there. That's who.
Joseph?
No. No. Jacob. I read something about where, look,
Well, Yaakov was firstborn because he bought the heirship. He bought that from Esau, so he was.
right, so
legally.
naturally he should have got the firstborn daughter, right? Is that how that kind of went then?
Well, that's what. So they were Midianites.
Oh, okay. That's the way they
No,
thought.
they were Armenians.
Armenians,
They're
yeah.
Armenians. So in their
Culture.
culture, but in all rights,
He
that's
worked
my
for Rachel.
culture, and you were going to marry my first son, John,
Mm-hmm.
you were going to marry my second son, John, but I had a first son named Mark, then I should say, Valerie, you can marry John later, but you're going to have to marry Mark first.
You're gonna have to settle for Mark right now.
Sorry, I know that you don't like Mark.
I really don't because
But it is.
He's
but it
buck-toothed.
is.
John is way
Bow-legged.
cuter. But who did he end?
Bow-legged?
Who did he end up loving?
Huh?
He fell in love with Leah from her humility and her never.
But it wasn't until her deathbed.
Right.
So in the end, when she died, he was like, he mourned greatly of her. How sad for her.
Yeah.
Because look what she named all her children. He will now love me. He will now notice me. I will be important. I mean, she named her children in the hopes and desires that her husband would long for her.
Wow.
So she had a very sad life. But in the end, he glorified her.
He did. He says she was never negative.
Yeah.
In the
She
midst
was,
of all that,
yes,
that's such humility.
that is.
To live a life with that much pain and separation and longing.
But you have to think too, she knew why he didn't love her as much either. So
It was her, and it was her sister.
it's my sister's fault. But the agreement was to marry
But she
Rachel.
felt weird that night. She's probably like, "No, Dad."
No, she's probably like, honey, my name ain't Rachel.
Oh yeah, she didn't really say too much, did she? Okay, Leah.
Hey Rachel, I love you, baby, I love you. My Rachel.
What is?
It's whatever were in those it was the stuff in the brownies.
Bethany, it's your fault. The brownies. They were covered in icing.
That was so good.
It was. I didn't eat
Okay.
them. I'm thinking about Shanna watching. She'd be like, "That's not keto."
Oh, she I ate her portion.
I'm just gonna leave
That
it there.
work?
Yeah.
Okay.
See.
Okay.
Let's do it. I think
Oh.
17.
In 17, but he is to acknowledge the son of the unloved wife as the firstborn by giving him a double portion. You led me astray.
No, you
Of
didn't
all
finish
that
all
he
of it.
has, for he is the beginning of his strength. And the first of the firstborn
Yeah, you did.
is his. The right of the firstborn is his. So just as in with Yaakov, Esau was the firstborn.
Right.
He actually was. They were twins, but he came out first. But he sold his land, his inheritance. He basically sold everything to Yaakov. So, but then he stole from Yaakov. When Yaakov was on his way to fetch a wife,
He did.
he robbed him. Okay, in verse 18, when a man has a wayward and rebellious son,
Yeah, Grant.
and this is so sad.
Get up here.
This is so sad, especially for you, Grant. Bye. Who is not listening to the voice of his father or the voice of his mother, and who, when they have disciplined him, does not listen to them. Then his father and mother shall take hold of him, bring him out to the elders of his city, to the gate of his city, and they shall say to the elders of the city, "This son of ours is wayward and rebellious. He is not listening to our voice, and he is a glutton and a drunkard." So it didn't say that earlier, anything about being a glutton and a drunkard. So he's wayward, he's rebellious, he's a glutton, and a drunkard.
Yep.
And then all the men of the city shall stone him to death with stones. Thus you shall purge the evil from your midst, and let all Israel hear and fear. And that would put fear into not only all Israel, but especially the boys and girls.
Yeah, the younger generation.
The kids would be like, "Oh my goodness."
I'm gonna listen to my pappy, my mammy.
I am, because Mammy and Pappy take me to the front gate, and the elders there, those old folks will be stoning us.
They done put
Yeah.
T.T. Thomas, they hit him with a bunch of stones, you know what I'm
He
saying?
did.
I know that he died.
Yep.
He didn't want to listen to his pappy. You guys should listen.
Leroy.
This is what could befall you. I mean, it might be more like Aunt Valerie's house with water balloons, but it could happen. Just so you know. Set of stones. I can't throw stones.
Paintball.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh,
Not in the house. I'm just like going, hey. Hold on.
Wait a minute.
Wait, did you redecorate, Valerie? I love the
The orange.
tie-dye looks.
Yeah.
In 22. And when a man has committed a sin worthy of death, then he shall be put to death, and you shall hang him on a tree. And the purpose of this would be so that everyone can see when you sin, you're going to die, and then we're going to expose you to everyone. Again, to put fear in the people.
Yes.
Let his body not remain overnight on the tree, for you shall certainly bury him the same day, for he is hanged, is accursed of Elohim, so that you do not defile the land, which Yahweh your Elohim is giving you as an inheritance. I like this, that they are protecting even the land. The blood defiles the land, you know?
Yep.
Okay, chapter 22, verse 1. When you see your brother's ox or his sheep straying away, you shall not hide yourself from them. Return them to your brother without fail. And if your brother is not near you, or if you do not know him, so this could be a brother, you know he's a brother, he's a neighbor somewhere in the area, but you don't know his name, and his animal is strayed out. You do everything you can, even if you don't like this person.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
You're supposed to bring it into your home, not into your home, but
Yeah.
you're supposed to bring it
Into
your
your care.
property
Yeah.
and take care of it until you see that person.
That's exactly right.
I read that. That's a pretty good deal.
Like if one of your goats somehow got out of your fence and
Mm-hmm.
wandered to our house, we would take it in
Eat
until
it.
you came.
Yeah.
Before something new.
Have y'all seen my little goat?
Stella.
What are y'all eating? What? It smells
Chicken.
like it smells like goat.
Mary's little lamb.
BB's little.
We're so bad. What's wrong with us?
Oh my.
Okay.
Okay.
You shall bring it to your own house, and it shall be with you until your brother seeks it, and then you shall return it to him. And so you do with his donkey, and so you do with his garment, and so you do with whatever your brother loses, which he has lost and you have found. You are not allowed to hide yourself.
That's where Lost and Found came from. Look at the schools.
Yes?
Yeah. Like that used to be real. People didn't used to keep your stuff.
Now it's lost, found, and missing.
Yeah.
Gone.
When you see your brother's donkey or his ox fall down on the way, you shall not hide yourself from them. Don't turn a blind eye. Don't walk by and look the other direction and go, oh, what's over there? And pretend you don't see that your neighbor is struggling to get a cow or a bull back into his property, or a horse. That would be more in line with today, or in my case, a sheep or a goat. Or maybe chasing chickens, I don't know. But you're not allowed to turn a blind eye. When you see your brother's donkey or his ox fall down on the way, you shall not hide yourself from them. Help him and raise him without fail. So that would be if the donkey fell under a load, right?
Okay. Yes.
That's why the donkey would have trouble getting up. He's
Loaded
under a
donkey.
load, so you help hold the load while the donkey gets up.
It's like if a car gets stuck too.
Yeah.
Oh.
Someone has gone off into the ditch, and listen, guys, this could be for anyone. I've actually had car trouble one time over close to Mahia, and it was a man who was the deacon in our church. I was right at his gate. He came home and pulled into his driveway and never even looked, pretended not to even look. And I was like, wow. And I was a member of the church. So sometimes you really need to think about what you're doing. If you see someone on the side of the road, stop and see if they need help. It's not going to hurt you. If you're a female, you need to be careful. I mean, like crack the window and go, do you need some help?
I'm sorry for that. I got a phone. I can call 911.
But we do. We need to be helping each other, because one day it might be you who's stuck in a ditch, or it might be you whose car has had a flat on the side of the road. A woman does not wear that which pertains to a man, nor does a man put on a woman's garment.
What?
Smokey Joe, what's going on in the world today?
Oh my
We've
God.
got 2 members of the White House staff that are wearing dresses, and they're men.
What?
Is
What?
Yes.
What kind of abominable nation is
I didn't
this?
know this.
No.
Yes.
The Human Health Service
Yes.
guy, and
It's a man.
it's not the transportation guy, though he is a homosexual. But
There's
it's
no telling what goes on
and-
beyond closed doors.
and there's I don't want to know, but there's one other Health and Sciences or something.
Mm-hmm.
It is the health guy.
Yep, it is. It
HHS.
used to be a man.
So Listen, guys.
Wow.
A woman does not wear that which pertains to a man, nor does a man put on a woman's garment. For whoever does this is an abomination to Yahweh, your Elohim.
Yep.
But listen, do you know what else is an abomination to Yahweh, your Elohim?
Several things.
Eating pork.
Yep.
You can't go near him.
Going against his commands.
Turning a deaf ear to his Torah. That's an abomination. Actually,
your prayer
your
is
prayer is an abomination.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of things that we can link into this, but look, we were commanded to go out and multiply. How are you going to go out and multiply if you've got 2 men in dresses?
So
She went there.
So I can't. So I can't give Bailey.
What? Where are you going with this?
I can't
Spit
give
it out.
Bailey my shirts. If
That is not.
That's
no.
different.
Okay, guys, listen. This is a hard issue.
Yes.
Let's say that Bailey is going out to help work in the field. And she throws on her jeans and her boots and her work shirt, and she goes out and works. She's not trying to be a man.
No.
She's not trying to usurp a man or come into the place of a man. She is trying to get a job done, and she's trying to protect her body in doing so. This would be about the heart issue. I want to be a man, so I'm going to dress like a man. I'm going to cut my hair like a man.
I'm gonna get a girlfriend like a man.
I'm going to get what?
A girlfriend like a man.
There was a dude in my school that he wore a skirt to school.
Was he Irish?
No.
Was he Scottish?
Yeah.
That's it, Scottish.
The Irish are going to take
He
it.
wore a pink skirt, like a girl,
Was
He's
he
a girl,
serious?
Drew.
He identifies as a girl.
and he
She.
He what?
and my math teacher was like, she's full on blown Christian. He's like, you see that boy wearing a dress or skirt?
Guys, we have a real problem in our country right now. We have a problem with parents who are not intelligent enough. And I'm not talking about they're stupid. Well, they are stupid. They're not reading scripture and understanding the law of our Father and the law that we should all be living under.
No,
And
you're
they're like, oh, Johnny, you're not sure if you think you like playing with Barbie dolls? You know what?
You're a girl.
We need to probably change your name to Johnny May.
John A.
Well, you know, a really good
You're
example
right. You're right.
is the other day we were at Tiff and Charles's house, and Joshua likes to put on high heels and run around the house. And I don't remember who it was, but they were like, I can't believe you're letting him wear them. And Charles was like, he doesn't have any idea that those are
That's
girl
right.
shoes. We're not going to be like, oh my gosh, Joshua's wearing high heels at 1.5. I bet he's going to be.
No, he's.
You know what I mean?
Thinking
Like
life.
that,
Okay,
but that's
look.
the way the world looks at stuff now. They're like, oh,
Don't
you
take that
like
off
wearing
you,
boy
that
clothes?
child.
Look, Brian did that. He wore my high
Yes.
heels.
Every kid
I
does.
wear my daddy's
If
boots.
y'all repeat that, I'm gonna split.
I
the
can't
hair.
wait till Monday.
I saw that turtle picture.
But what turtle picture? Huh? The turtle picture.
The turtle picture? I said that to him and he never texted me back.
He pretended it was not him.
But no, back then we knew, you know, if I would have went and started acting like a boy, my daddy would have been like, you're a girl, what are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
I remember my brother having to dress up for homecoming. He came out wearing it was opposite day, and he had a dress on. My grandpa was like, well, you ain't leaving this house, you know, get back in there and change. Instead, today it's like, okay, so maybe he wants to wear. But yeah, you can be who you want. Be yourself. Just be.
Guys, you are what you're born with. If you were born with male body parts, you are a man. And you need to act like a man, and you need to man up. And what did y'all tell Yaakov?
You better gird up your loins.
Gird up with his loins.
Gird up your loins, be a man, and answer my questions.
Yeah, be a man and answer my questions.
Yeah.
If you're a woman, you're supposed to back your husband. You're not supposed to go into the house and try to usurp him and become the master of your house. Women are not heads of the
No.
house. We are subservient to our husbands. This is the way the Bible set it up. Women out there may not care for what I'm saying, and I don't care. Somebody needs to tell you, and it might as well be me, because nobody likes me anyway. So,
Children are
It all goes back to the garden there.
It
You know,
does go
there's
back
a
to the
reason
garden.
why that men are in the position that they're in, because apparently we couldn't make decisions on our own.
y'all took a rib from us too.
Yes, exactly. We're a helpmate, a helper,
Y'all made us.
part of.
Y'all made the female. Look, even the armor of y'all does not have armor in the back, does it? You've got the armor on the front. You've got your sword. You've got your knee boots. But what's on your back? Your wife is back there guarding your backside. She's your helpmate. She's your back guard. She watches out for anything coming that you may not see.
Mm-hmm.
You make a good team, and that's the way it should be. But she was not created to be in your house to make the decisions, to run the house, to call the shots. Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's what I like about Stephanie. She has a good discernment, and like sometimes I don't see things.
Yes.
It helps me see those things through spiritual eyes.
Absolutely.
Women
It's like
have
really
better
cool.
intuition
Yeah.
generally.
Oh, yeah.
You guys are strong. You're the money makers. You know how to make money. You know how to take.
Dumb, you say it.
Yes.
No, y'all make
No.
decisions without emotions, though. Like y'all are not. Sometimes we're emotional driven.
Oh,
Not
me.
her, and sometimes not me, but.
No.
That was a lot of drinking just then.
That's in this cup.
Because I had nothing.
See, it's so thirsty.
I had nothing to say about that.
Fermented ice water.
It was all of the chocolate.
It was.
So going back to this, a woman doesn't take the position of a man. We're not supposed to be football players on a man's team. We're not supposed. Listen, a guy is not
Politics.
supposed to be inside a woman or a little girl's locker room. Period. A boy shouldn't be taking a shower next to a girl. This is not normal. And if you think it is, then you've got a very serious issue,
And keep watching.
you will have to be answering to y'all. I'm just telling you that this is what he says. Don't do the things that the other sex does. Don't even try it. You're not supposed to. Okay. When this is one of those that I consider one of the least of the commandments. Over in Matthew 5. Is it Matthew 5?
Yes.
When it says, if you break even the least of these commandments
And teach others to
and
do
teach
so.
others to do so, you will be least in the kingdom. I consider this one of the least. Okay, y'all want to hear what it is?
Yes.
Because I can't see it in my napkin. When you come upon a bird's nest along the way, in any tree or on the ground, with young ones or eggs, with the mother sitting on the young or on the eggs, do not take the mother with the young. Let the mother go without fail and take the young for yourself, so that it might be well with you and that you prolong your days. So don't kill off a whole generation of birds. What is wrong with you?
I just don't know how this happens. Don't let their ox stay out there. Give it back. Take it into your house. If it falls down, pick it up. Don't wear men's clothes. And don't take the bird away from their babies.
Well, no, don't eat the bird with its baby.
Well, I mean, it's like a weird, like just this whole paragraph. I mean, I guess
It's all about fairness.
Right, okay.
Look, y'all cares for even the little mother bird. He's like, don't take her and kill her. Don't kill her and the baby at the same time.
That's kind of like and I think that helps save the animals too, not taking them out like that. And then it says something, isn't that what the goat and the mother's milk thing is about?
Well, I think I'm pulling that up.
Okay.
Exodus 20:12. Let me see what I've got here. Respect your father and mother so that your days are prolonged upon this law. That doesn't have anything to do with it. But further back, in fact, it was in last week's, I believe, where it says, don't take the baby goat and boil him in the mother's milk. That is another one of the small ones. It was in last week's. But it said, don't cook the baby goat in his mom's milk.
Yeah.
And that is because why would you cook a baby in the milk that sustained it and helped him to grow? And that's pretty much what that is all about. Right there. And I don't see it, but it was in there. Okay. You found it?
I'll find it.
Thank you, baby. You're so good. Okay. Yeah, that's Matthew 5:19.
Exodus 23:19.
23:19. and I went to Exodus 20:12.
Maybe. Do not cook a young goat in its mother's milk.
Do not cook a young goat in its mother's milk. So that is not saying don't eat meat
And cheese together.
cheese or meat and milk. That's not saying don't mix the two. That's not what that's saying. It is Yah's love for the mother. Don't take her milk and cook her baby in the milk that she was providing to raise this baby up. And that's what that is all about. Okay. Thank you very much for looking that up. When you build a new house, I'm on 8. When you build a new house, then you shall make a parapet for your roof, so that you do not bring blood guilt on your house when one falls off. Okay, so a parapet is like a railing around the edge of the roof. So many of the roofs were flat. They would go up in the evening to stay cool, to sit on the roof, maybe to go up there and pray. If you tripped and fell or rolled off, the parapet or the railing around the edge would keep you from falling, and that way guard you against being guilty for not. Listen, you know what this sounds like to me? It would be like us having safety meetings to say, don't do this, it could cost you your life. Taking every precaution you can to make sure that the people who come to your home are safe and can't get hurt.
Mm-hmm.
It would be like putting a fence around your pool if you're in a neighborhood where there's a lot of little kids, just to keep a child from running off into the pool.
Yeah, 'cause it's
So-
a threshold.
That's right. That is exactly it. So he's basically saying, make sure that you aren't found guilty of neglect. It's more like what this would be, an object of neglect. Do not sow your vineyard with different kinds of seed, lest the yield of the seed which you have sown and the fruit of your vineyard be defiled. Everything's defiled today because they have hybrid everything. Everything's been defiled. There's a few heirloom seeds, but if you're planting heirloom seeds, what's wrong? How do you know that they're not being cross-pollinated with other things that are planted in the area? What were you thinking?
I was watching Grant. He was doing weird stuff.
Yes, sir.
You know what? This is a spiritual sense too.
Okay.
Like Isaiah 5:1-4.
Uh-huh.
It says, "Please let me sing to the one I love a song of my loved one regarding his vineyard. My loved one has a vineyard at a fertile hill. And he dug it up and cleared it of stones and planted it in choicest vine and built a watchtower in the midst and also the winepress in it. And he waited in the yielding of grapes, but it yielded rotten ones. And now, O inhabitant of Jerusalem and man of Yehuda, please judge me between me and my vineyard. What more could I have done to my vineyard that I have not done in it? Why, when I waited for the yielding of grapes, did it yield rotten ones?"
Well, and rotten grapes aren't necessarily mixed with other seed because you're going to get a fruit. It's just going to be, what does y'all say? Don't crossbreed animals. Don't crossbreed your fruits. So a rotten fruit would be more like too much water or bugs maybe cause the rot on it. But it would be a crossbred fruit, and so you would get a fruit. It would be like what is that? That's like a plum and an apricot.
Plumquat.
A plumquat. That would be. It would be like producing something like that. Only between you maybe, and you know what? This really convicts me because I've got 2 different grapes in the ground on my trellis. So I bet you they're crossbreeding.
Hybrids.
Would you consider dogs, like them being breeds, different breeds? Would you consider that?
I think y'all would. What do y'all think?
We were talking about it yesterday. We were agreeing.
He said don't crossbreed.
Yeah.
Don't change what he set up. But then you would have to follow your dog all the way
Yeah.
over the countryside going, don't.
I mean, I think if it was food or something different, dogs aren't food and they're not.
Mm-hmm.
So, and they're going to do what naturally their instinct is.
They are, but even the crossbreeding of that creates a different thing from what y'all created.
And there are people that do that on purpose.
Yes, yes.
That's not right. But I
No.
don't think, if a dog wants to go do what a dog
Don't
does.
go there. Don't go there.
But I feel like this is also like a spiritual thing. Like, which seeds are you sowing in your vineyard? Are you sowing
Pure.
seeds of deceit, of bitterness, of anger, or whatever? Or are you sowing seeds of joy, love, and peace, and it can taint your garden? your vineyard.
Everything is physical and
And
spiritual.
It
So,
made me think of Miss Valerie.
yeah.
She'd always like spiritual and physical.
Do not plow with an ox and a donkey together. Would a donkey and an ox be equally yoked?
No.
No. So don't do that. And again, spiritual side.
Spiritual side. Don't marry a donkey. Don't be unevenly yoked.
That's right.
In life, in relationships, and even in friendships, you got to be careful
If
because you can go back
that's right.
sway.
If you're Torah observant, don't go marry a Catholic. And I'm serious.
Definitely don't.
The two, you cannot walk together. If the two are not equally yoked, you cannot walk together. What is he doing to his mouth? Wish I had some stuff to give you. Do not put on a garment of different kinds of wool and linen together. Wool is animal, linen is vegetation, it's a plant. Don't mix the two. Now, I think this is specific to wool and linen. I don't think this is talking about regular. What do you think?
I don't know. I think he's saying, and that's an example.
We need to look at that.
Don't put on a garment of different kinds.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the mixing of threads of fabric, physical again, spiritual.
But what do you think? Cotton and linen are both plants.
Yes. And you do see a lot of that together.
Wool and fur.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. We need to do some research on that because to me that is one of the hardest. That's one of the hardest commands to keep because everything is mixed, and it's GMO'd if it's not mixed. So we need to look at the interlinear on that. Okay, make tassels on the four corners of the garment with which you cover yourself, and that would be Numbers 15. And guys, this is talking about the tzitzits. And Seth, you want to read that? It's also in Numbers 35:40. Bailey, you want to read 35:40 in Numbers?
Speak to the children of Israel, and you shall say to them, make a tzitzit on the corners of their garments throughout their generations. Put a blue cord in the tzitzit of the corner, and it shall be to you for a tzitzit, and you shall see it, and shall remember the commands of you and shall do them, and not search after your own heart and your own eyes, after which you went whoring, so that you remember and shall do my commands and be set apart to Elohim. I am Elohim who brought you out of the land of Mitzrayim to be your Elohim. I am Yahuwah your Elohim.
what? 35, 40, 38. Wait, it's going to be 15. 38 to 40. I think your dad just read it. Did you?
15?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Okay. Sorry, Bailey. Next one. Next one's yours
She's been waiting the whole afternoon, huh?
for that one verse.
She told you that earlier too. Hang on, Bailey, I got you. I have a
She's
verse.
the next one. She's the
Okay.
next person, then you're going to take the rest of them. Okay, so make tassels. These are tzitzits. And what are the tzitzits for, Seth?
They're to be reminders. So you walk out the ways of Yahuwah your Elohim. I'm not from shoes.
Yeah, they weren't. Did you know that let me rephrase that. Let me ask a question. 'Cause
Okay.
I haven't necessarily studied it, but somebody had mentioned that they weren't in the first set of commands. That they were given in the second set because they forgot the commands already.
There were some in Deuteronomy that were given. Moshe was given these. Moshe
Right.
didn't forget anything.
No. Not that he forgot, but after when he dropped the first set of tablets.
Okay.
Like that wasn't mentioned in that previous, and then when he came down from the mountain, that was
Okay.
I don't know.
What does it do? What difference would it make?
that was the reason they were given. It was a reminder of the commands, like that they were mentioned later on in that area.
Okay.
I'll look.
Yeah.
You know my crazy thoughts. So
Yeah.
I saw it and I read it and I'll have to go. Yeah, disregard that because I'm crazy.
She's not crazy.
And I read articles and stuff. I can't always remember where it was. I'll look it up.
Okay, so make tassels and the tzitzits have got purpose and meaning. And Grant, come up here and let's show your tassels. No, come up here. I want you to model them. Okay, so this is would be attached to his
Garment.
garment. So the blue. What's the blue for?
Isn't that the tribes of Yehuda and Dan? Not Dan, Benjamin.
The blue. You've got two. I thought there was just one.
Yeah, that's what I was
Dad just had one.
Misty
Where did y'all
neighbors.
get these?
Misty
made
neighbor.
Okay.
Misty and Pete.
We'll order.
Yeah.
We'll order you something.
Yeah. So they are made specifically. They've got 5 knots to remind you of the 5 books of the Torah, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And let's see. I think I've got notes on that back here because I can't remember that always. Did you find what you were looking for on the seats?
Isn't the white stand for purity?
What is
The white,
purity?
yeah, and that's mentioned in the Targums. That blue and the white.
There's 8 threads. There's eight threads,
Let's see. 19.
5 knots for 5 books of the Torah.
I have 9.
You have 9 threads.
Yes, ma'am.
So the 8 threads represent eternal life. 613 commands. But I don't see how that is in. How many threads do you have?
9.
9. Okay, we need to get you some different ones. Okay, but these are important, and what's important about them is when you wear them, other people will look at you and they'll go, Grant,
What is that?
what is that?
Yeah, my mom asked me.
Oh.
What'd you say?
I told her that it helps me to remember that I should love one another and to guard the Torah.
Oh, that is sweet. What'd she say?
She said it's pretty cool. I gave her my tzitzit bracelet to remember it.
Aww. So, you know what's interesting is that sometimes little children are teaching their parents. And I think that's amazing. Okay, 13. When any man takes a wife and shall go into her and shall hate her and shall make abusive charges against her and bring an evil name on her and say, I took this woman and when I came to her, I did not find her a maiden. Then the father and the mother of the young girl shall take and bring out the proof of the girl's maidenhood to the elders of the city at the gate. So this is something that was done in a marriage. There was a ketubah that was drawn up, which was a marriage agreement. It said if I'm the wife, then say John Doe was the husband, it would tell me what John Doe is going to do for me if in the event that the marriage didn't work out. What will he do to take care of me? How he's going to provide for me during the marriage. And it's me saying what I'm going to do for him during the marriage. So it's basically an agreement or a contract. And I would take that agreement or contract and I would take it to my parents' house.
Like a vow.
It is a
Covenant.
It's a contract.
Yeah.
It's a covenant. And I would take it to my parents' house and they would put it in safekeeping so that in the event that he decides that he wants some other woman, then I've got proof of what he agreed to. And then the proof that I was a maiden would be from a garment that was worn that night when the marriage was consummated. So that would be left with the mom and the dad as well. So the parents would provide proof that what he's saying is not true. And the girl's father shall say to the elders, I gave my daughter to this man as a wife, and he hates her. And see, he has made abusive charges against her, saying, I did not find your daughter a maiden, and yet these are the proofs of my daughter's maidenhood. And they shall spread the garment before the elders of the city, and the elders of that city shall take that man and punish him, and fine him 100 pieces of silver and give them to the father of the young woman. She ain't get nothing. The young woman gets nothing. The father gets money. Because he has brought an evil name on a maiden of Israel. And she is to be his wife. He is not to be allowed to put her away all his days. But if the matter is true that the girl was not found a maiden, then they shall bring out the girl to the door of her father's house, and the men of the city shall stone her to death with stones, because she has done wickedness in Israel to whore in her father's house. Thus you shall purge the evil from your midst. You purge the evil from your midst with one person, and it's probably going to stop hundreds from sinning and doing the same thing. Okay.
We have the same version.
Oh, that is awesome.
Yeah. So I noticed like some people turn after me,
Uh-huh.
but yours is, that's why I was just looking. I think ours is the exact same.
That is so cool.
But I got mine a few years ago when you, I don't know which round.
Was that your back cracking?
Yes.
One mine. Okay, when a man is found lying with a woman married to a husband, then both of them shall die. Both the man that lay with the woman and the woman. Thus you shall purge the evil from Israel. Okay, when they're committing adultery, who dies?
Both of them.
Both of them, the man and the woman. Which is one thing that you have to remember about is it Matthew 8?
Yeah.
Matthew 8, where
Pharisees,
they bring
the girl out front of you.
and guys, where was the man?
Yeah.
Where was the man in this? Because
Yep.
it takes two to tango.
Yep.
It takes two to commit
So
adultery.
basically, they went against the Torah.
I have so much questions about that though.
Okay.
Why would they not stone them, even though it's said to stone them?
Well, okay, first of all, they didn't have proof that this had taken place because the law said there had to be both.
Sure.
Both of them were to be brought forward. They only brought a woman forward. And they didn't accuse a man of anything. They just accused her of committing adultery. So without the husband, the male there, they were only bringing charges against one person. They couldn't prove that was. What has to happen is a witness that saw the crime would be the first to cast the stones. What had Yahusha been down and right in the dirt? Nobody knows. But what he did know, what did he say? You who are without sin, cast the first stone.
Not one of them threw it.
They each, after looking at whatever it was that he wrote, walked away. And it could have been a false witness is stoned. What happens to a false witness is done to them what they intended to have done to someone else. But they were, more than likely, they were trying to catch Yahusha in a mistake because they know the law. They were the Pharisees. They knew the law. They knew that when a woman was brought before a judge, which is what they were doing with Yahusha, they brought her before him and they said this woman was caught in adultery. Okay, great. With who? I mean, what happened to the guy? Did y'all forget him? Or did you just find her alone and you thought maybe she'd been committing adultery? So there has to be two. But they only came with one.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Did it answer your question?
Yes.
Perfect. Perfect. Okay. What?
Rubbing that deer's chin.
I know. I'm pretending I don't see what's going on over here.
Cheese?
Cheese?
Cheese.
I'm sorry.
I said, geez, Grant.
What did I do?
But if a man finds a girl who is engaged in the field, and the man takes hold of her and lies with her, then only the man who lay with her shall die. Why?
Because it's his wrong that he.
If she screamed, who was going to come to her help?
Right.
No one was out there in the field to hear her. So she may have been screaming her lungs out, but no one could have heard her. But is that going to say that?
Mm-hmm.
No, it doesn't say that. But if she's screaming, nobody can come help her. So there's no, and if she tells somebody, It's not because she was caught or she was seen. She's telling him because she was raped. And so the man is punished. Okay, well here is when a being, for he found her in the field and she cried out, the engaged girl, but without anyone to save her. So there is what I was just saying. If she's out in the field, there was no one to come and rescue her. If she screamed, and more than likely she was screaming. Then the man who lay with her shall give the girl's father 50 pieces of silver. Wait, when a man finds a girl who is a maiden, who is not engaged, and he seizes her and lies with her, and they are found out, then the man who lay with her shall give to the girl 50 pieces of silver, and she is to be his wife, because he has humbled her. He is not allowed to put her away all his days. So doesn't this seem so different from the first one, where you see a captive girl, you take her, you don't like her, and you just set her free.
So this is a woman of Israel,
This is a woman of Israel.
and this is what
And that makes a
you're going
difference.
to take care of this that you did. Y'all
True.
did.
True.
So this is 922.
So this is just a whole bunch of little laws. A man does not take his father's wife, nor uncover his father's skirt. So in the instance of Reuben and his father, Reuben went into Bilhah, which was Rachel's maidservant. He went into her, and we know that from the book of Jasher, it was because he was angry because he thought when Rachel died, his father would move in with Leah, his mom, and that then his mom would be happy. And when that didn't happen, he went and lay with Bilhah in his father's bed. So his father had moved his bed to Bilhah's tent, is what happened. So don't do that. It is bad. And I listened to Reuben this morning, the parable of the vineyards, and that was a good study.
I have to listen to. I haven't had to listen to it yet. But
I was thinking I was listening to Yehuda, but I didn't, and that's what I really wanted to hear. Okay, won't you read 23?
he who is wounded by crushing of testicles or whose penis is cut off shall not enter into the community of Yehuda. Is that why you did that?
Yep. She didn't know.
I would have loved if Bailey had to read it.
A mamzer shall not enter the community of Yahuwah. Even a 10th generation of his shall not enter the community of
Do
Yahuwah.
you know what a mamzer is?
A mamzer is
It's a
born from a prohibited union.
child of incest.
Oh,
Incest? Oh,
Yes.
I thought it was out of wedlock or something.
That's a prohibited union.
Oh, so,
So-
It would be a child of incest.
incest is
Alabama.
wrong term.
Sexual, or it could be just a forbidden union.
Forbidden?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. An Ammonite or a Moabite shall not enter the assembly of Yahuwah. Even a 10th generation of them shall not enter the assembly of Yahuwah.
Hold on. There was one who entered into the assembly of Yahuwah. Who was that? In case
Who?
you didn't.
Yeshua.
Ruth?
Ruth.
Oh, really?
Who are you
I'm
over
gonna
here
say
saying?
David.
Kedusha.
David was a Yehudite. He was from the tribe of Yehuda. He was not a Moabite. And he,
Sorry.
that's
It's
okay.
I'll let you
So
slide.
who were the Moabites and the Ammonites?
Moabites. All I know, or what I remember from the Moabites is that they're a very proud.
Okay, where'd they come from?
I'm gonna give this a guess.
Yeah.
Moab.
Okay, the Moabites came from Moab. From
Esau?
Moab himself.
No.
So the Moabites and the Ammonites were the children of Lot.
Lot. Dang
Through
it. I always
his
mess
daughters.
that up.
Abraham.
So when Sodom and Gomorrah,
Wow.
Were-
So when Lot went up there with his daughters and they,
well, they got him drunk.
Oh, which is an ender of the the mamzer.
Uh-huh.
They a prohibited union of mother and or father and daughter
Yes.
were these groups, so that's why it's listed next.
Yes.
Okay.
So the Ammon and Moab were Lot's two sons.
wow.
Then he had
So his daughters got him drunk because they thought that the whole world had been
Done
destroyed.
away with, you know.
And they were like, we've got to, what was their command? To procreate. So they're like, we got to procreate.
let's
Let's
get
do
him drunk.
it. Let's do it with Daddy. So they did. Oi,
This is a really twisted.
I hate this. This I don't hate. This is not my
You
favorite
used-
Torah
You
portion.
used to skip over it when we used to do it.
I did. I skipped over this so many times. And
I'm just still
Josh-
wondering, like, so if a guy had an accident and crushed his testicles, he couldn't enter into the community of Yahuwah?
No.
I mean, he was doing something wrong.
Well, I mean, it could be an accident.
There's a reason why that happened. Like, he has a purpose for everything.
His penis is out. That should be something for all these people who are
That's what
having
I'm
their
always
parts
like.
changed.
Okay, so
Right.
Yes.
So guys, if you're having a sex change operation and you're male and you have your penis cut off, you can't come into the assembly of Yah. But everyone is redeemable because even the one who is a eunuch,
You
even the eunuch, if he loves Yah and he honors Shabbat, he'll be as a pillar in his temple.
Okay.
So,
This is that in
yeah, everybody's redeemable.
All right, verse 4. Because they did not meet you with bread and water on the way when you came out of Mitzrayim, and because they hired against you Balaam, son of Beor, from Pethor of Aram Naharaim, to curse you. You got something to say? Oh, okay. I thought you had something. But Yahuwah your Elohim refused to listen to Balaam, and Yahuwah your Elohim turned the curse into a blessing for you, because Yahuwah your Elohim loves you. Do not seek their peace nor their good all your days forever. Do not loathe an Edomite, for he is your brother. Do not loathe
Who's Edom?
that is
It starts with E.
Esau. No.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So Edom is Esau. So do not loathe an Edomite. Why?
He's your brother.
He was Yishak's son.
Right.
Rome.
And Esau is Rome through the Kittite. Through, I can't remember his name, but yes. He ended up going to Kiddishim. You read.
Okay. Do not loathe the Mitzrayim, because you are a stranger to this land, his land. The children of the third generation born to them do enter the assembly of Yahuwah. When the camp goes out against your enemies, then you shall guard yourself from every evil matter. When there is any man among you who is not clean because of an emission in the night, then he shall go outside the camp. Let him not come into the midst of the camp. And it shall be at the approach of the evening that he bathes with water, and when the sun sets, let him come up into the midst of the camp.
Okay, so guys,
Nocturnal gases.
And radiation.
where did y'all get that?
Well, I mean,
Strong's.
you keep reading it, it says that
The interlinear.
excretion is
Yeah.
a bowel movement.
This is an emission. It's not an excretion.
I mean, but in other verses, it, like if
Talks about semen.
but it says emission of semen.
Okay.
We're not sure what kind of emission.
Anything that proceeds from a man's body at night makes him unclean.
Okay, there we go.
So,
And you shall have a place outside the camp where you shall go out, and you shall have a sharp implement among your equipment. And when you sit down outside, you shall dig with it and
She broke.
you shall dig with it and turn and cover your excrement. For Yahuwah your Elohim walks in the midst of your camp to deliver you and give your enemies over to you. Therefore your camp shall be set apart, so that he does not see unclean matter among you and shall turn away from you.
so you know what's interesting here, guys, is that if you go to the first book of Adam and Hua, once they ate their first meal, their bodies became animal-like because once they had eaten, their digestive system kicked in, and so what happens after that is what goes in comes out. So that made them too unclean. They couldn't approach heaven.
Right.
They could no longer enter into the heavenlies, which is probably a really good understanding for why when you fast, you draw nearer to Him.
Oh.
Okay? So fasting actually is a very good thing for clearing out the animal in each of us. So
And
we all have animal in inclinations because of that.
Yeah.
The worldly objects we consume.
Yeah. All right.
Just sharing
Just you, but
for you, baby.
You do not hand over to his master the slave who has escaped from his master to you. Let him dwell with you in your midst in the place which he chooses within one of your gates. Where it is pleasing to him, do not oppress him. None of the daughters of Israel is to be a cult prostitute, nor any of the sons of Israel be a cult prostitute. Do not bring the harlot fee of a whore or the pay of a dog to the house of Yahuwah for your Elohim, for any vowed offering, for both of these are an abomination to Yahuwah your Elohim. Do not lend at interest to your brother, interest of silver, interest of food, or interest of whatever is lent. I got to remember that for Brian.
Hey, you remember that $20 I borrowed from
He was
you?
talking about charging us interest. I was like, you can't charge us interest.
You know why he does that?
Huh.
Because they won't come back. And
Yeah.
ask for money.
I was like, I'm your brother or your
That's what he told
sister.
me.
Yeah, you can't charge your brother or sister
He's
interest.
talking about charging
No.
I thought
my
it-
employees interest on loans.
But he was like, what, is that in the Bible? I was like, yes. He was like, where? Now I'm going to show him where. Deuteronomy 23.
So you don't lend to a brother on interest, but you can lend to a foreigner.
Outsider, yep. To a foreigner, you lend at interest, but not to your but to your brother you do not lend at interest, so that Yahuwah your Elohim might bless you in all that you put your hand to in the land which you're entering to possess. When you make a vow to Yahuwah your Elohim, do not delay to pay it, for Yahuwah your Elohim is certainly requiring it of you, and it shall be a sin in you. But when you abstain from vowing, it is not sin in you. That which has gone from your lips you shall guard and do, for you voluntarily vowed to Yahuwah your Elohim what you have promised with your mouth. And when you come to your neighbor's vineyard, you shall eat to satisfaction of your desire, but do not put any in a receptacle of yours. When you come into your neighbor's standing grain,
They'll
you
carry
shall
a basket in
Right.
there and start harvesting their crops.
you shall pluck the heads with your hand, but do not use a sickle on your neighbor's standing grain.
Okay, a really good example of this is in Matthew 12, 1 through 2,
Yes.
when the disciples are walking through the field and they just grab some grain and put it in their mouth. That is not considered harvesting
No.
or reaping.
Would you,
Yeah.
if you allow us to, like, for example, if you say, hey, can you come over to my house and pick some peaches for me? Y'all can have them. Would it be all right if we would bring it? A container to, like,
Yes.
Well, if I ask you to, yes.
okay.
But the premise behind this is that if you're walking down the road, let's say you're going to Shabbat or you're traveling between, let's say from here to Wortham, and you're walking down the road and it's just a path. If there's fruit growing alongside the road, you were free to pick off those trees. Anyone, everyone that came down there could pluck a fruit and eat it while walking. So you were not stopped from doing that. And if it was grain, you could pluck the grain. A melon, let's grab a melon, stop and eat it on the side of the road. So that was allowed. But now to go out there with a basket and start plucking and
That'd be
packing
stealing.
away, that would be stealing.
Yeah.
That would be harvesting or reaping what you have not sown. So, but the Pharisees tried to get Yahusha on this, and they couldn't because that was not the law. The law was you can walk through a field of grain and grab a handful and eat it.
They had made it into work
Well, they were trying to turn it into harvesting,
on the Sabbath.
and it was not harvesting. Okay, we go through 24. Okay, I'll read this last
25.
one. Oh, I'm going to let you do 25. When a man takes a wife and shall marry her, and then it shall be, if she finds no favor in his eyes because he has found a matter of uncoveredness in her, and he shall write her a certificate of divorce. If there's a divorce, the male has to issue a certificate of divorce to allow the woman to go on and live her life. He puts it in her hand and he sends her out of his house. She can go down the road and she can remarry. The house of Israel was given a certificate of divorce.
You can remarry?
She could remarry, yes. And if she left the house and went and became another man's wife, and the latter husband shall hate her and write her a certificate of divorce and put it in her hand and send her out of his house, or when the latter husband dies, who took her to be his wife, then her former husband who sent her away is not allowed to take her back. It is not becoming of Israel to be so flippant and I want to marry you, baby. Oh, I don't like you anymore. Oh, but now I think I like you again. That is not becoming of Israel. And Yah said, my people will not do that. So if you're going to divorce a woman, you better be sure that this is what you want to do, because once you divorce her,
Get her back.
if you look at her in 4 or 5 months, a year down the road, too bad, so sad, you can't have her.
Well, he did it.
Who did it? Papa.
Yeah, he's fine.
But Yeshua died.
Yeah. What are you talking
I'm
about?
not saying, no, I'm not meaning it like that, but that he wanted to remarry Israel.
No, he is not remarrying Israel. He died,
So it's a new.
and he is a new man.
Well, and Israel will be new then too.
No, Israel's
won't-
not new.
Well, they won't be the same.
They're the bride that he divorced. Same bride that he divorced. So, okay. So he divorced her, then and issued her a certificate of divorce,
Right.
and then our bridegroom died and was risen
Our baby.
again new, and it's the same bride. Mwah, love ya. Mwah, pinch ya.
Bye, baby.
Our Shabbat Shalom's just left. He didn't remarry.
Okay.
He's a new bridegroom.
Okay. I get it.
That's the secret that Paul was so excited about.
Right. I was just.
And it's the only way that Israel can come back home. Same wife.
Right.
Otherwise, he wouldn't have to die.
Okay. And by new bride, I was talking about like in Revelation when he says that there was a
new heaven and a new
new
earth.
Jerusalem, which was his bride. So I had that mixed up.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Because I'm weird.
Okay, so he's not allowed to take her back because she's been defiled, and that would be an abomination in Israel.
So this is like people who get divorced and they're mad at each other and then they want to get remarried again. Or
They get a divorce, she's remarried,
Okay.
and then divorced, or he died.
Okay.
Once that happens, she's been defiled by another man. She cannot go back home.
Okay.
If they divorced and she had not defiled herself with another man, she could go back home.
Oh.
As long as he hadn't defiled himself with another man.
Woman.
Or woman. But then again, y'all said, this is not going to happen with my people. You're not going to divorce her? Then take her back.
Because I wonder sometimes about being a single woman who's been divorced, like about, marrying again. Like I've had.
You were given a certificate of divorce.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But you couldn't go back to Seth.
Right. But I was just thinking, like, because I think. Yeah, I
Different
don't-
Seth.
Yeah. But things. I don't remember what I'd read. It was something different. Maybe.
Knowledge makes us liable.
Right.
If you didn't know that you
Right.
couldn't go back and you went back, then you can't do anything about it. You can't just turn around and divorce again. So the deed's already done. You live with it. You get over it.
Right. I don't know where I had heard that, something that you weren't, and that was probably in the church, that, there's she's divorced. It may have been something like that. Or maybe it was something about it on the grounds of adultery.
Well, y'all said he hates divorce.
Right.
And that they never, even Yahusha said, I never gave you rules for divorce.
Because in my
Moshe
mind,
did because y'all were stiff-necked.
I'm a new person anyway, a new creation. There's
Mhm.
things that I did before. I mean, they count and all of that, but I feel like I did those things out of ignorance. I really
Mhm.
didn't know. Now, moving forward, that's why I take
Yes.
my abstinence and everything very seriously, because Yahuwah has asked us to be this bride, this person.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have wondered that in my mind about divorce. Is that okay? So that's cool.
It is not okay.
Right.
I mean,
To remarry after divorce as well.
well, yes, but realistically, we as Israel,
Mhm.
there would be no reason for me to go and divorce my husband
Right.
because it's an abomination.
Right.
And I don't want my papa to see me committing an abomination.
Right.
So I've been divorced before. Can't go back and change any of that.
Right.
But it doesn't mean we do another wrong
Now.
to try to make him happy because that wouldn't please him.
Because even I've heard people say even if they're unevenly yoked or
Mhm.
something, after they've come to this knowledge, they are still required to abide according to Torah.
Absolutely.
And without sins of adultery or them leaving, you're still bound in that covenant with them, right?
Even with sins of adultery, you can leave But do you want to break that covenant?
Right.
You're still breaking the covenant. Even though the man broke the covenant, even if the man's not taking care of the wife, which is his covenant,
Right.
I still don't see that there's grounds for leaving.
He just doesn't like it, and should try to do everything you can.
Yes.
I mean, I was really young and crazy, but I'm just for future if I do
I'm
get married again.
divorced.
Right.
I'm a very defiled woman. I mean, if you think about it, I mean, and it brings shame. It makes you shamed, but
When you read this kind of stuff, yeah,
Yes.
definitely. That's why I'm
Mhm.
like, you know, I mean, no, I'm not even 100% sure that my divorce wasn't on grounds of adultery. Like, and I think I read where if another man marries her after those grounds, then he is, that's it, right? Then he is guilty of adultery as well?
if she's been issued a certificate of divorce,
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe he is.
Okay.
But that's questionable because I think I've read that same thing.
Yeah, and I think that's what I was remembering when I was reading this, that there was something about that woman being divorced. Of course, those were all way before I even had any idea about a walk or what I was supposed to be doing.
Yes.
Like, I wish I would have had the knowledge then that I have now. And I could have done it different.
How amazing would it be to be able to raise your children with this wisdom and the knowledge that we learn? And this is not wisdom of man. This is wisdom of Yah.
Yes.
And the way he wants things done. And it is to make us better human beings, cleaner human beings, no filth, no baggage that we've packed on from every single person that we have married or been with.
Right.
And that's a load.
It's a choice to, I always thought, you know, I had a really messed up idea of love. And at a young age, I mean, we see so many people just getting divorced nowadays. What would have happened if you would have fought through that or sought Yahuwah or, you know, tried to make it work? Because in all marriages, they're good and bad. You know, like I hope that I can help my children in that area to see that the person you choose is the person you choose. That's your person.
What's cool is that you'll be able to, that's
Malachi.
Malachi here. I keep hearing little footprints. The cool thing is that you can counsel your children before they get a divorce.
Right.
You know, you can explain to them you need to be equally yoked because if you're not, it will be a horrible, tough marriage. You can do it and you can make it work, but it will be work the whole time. It will be sacrifice and doing without some of the things that you might want from a spouse. So, I mean, the proper counseling is going to be very important.
Well, it's also for people who are in Torah now and they're single, it makes the dating pool like this big. You know, I've had people that I've talked to or whatever, but the first thing for me is, are they walking in Torah? Are they walking in truth? Because I'm definitely not going to jump off into that with somebody who's not.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm looking for the person to be
And
a
your
man.
job. So, I mean, it's very important to you because, I mean, you would have a lot of years
Yes.
with this person. So you want to make sure that it's the right man, that he's walking the walk that, and listen, there's a lot of people that are walking in what they're calling this walk, and it may not be the same walk.
Right.
So there are some people who've gone really overboard. They are like Torah terrorists. There are people who are observing different calendars, and there's nothing wrong with that because we're all doing the best that we can. But you want to make sure that you're
On the same.
if you're going to be yoked with someone, you want to make sure that you're doing things very similar.
Right. Because it'll be
Marriage
like
is
a
tough
donkey
enough.
and an ox.
That's exactly it.
You know, trying to plow the same field.
I saw something. I think maybe you had posted it. It was like before I came into this walk, I thought being equally yoked was about eggs. I thought that was cute.
A big yoke and a little yoke.
And then it shows this one bull standing and this other one laying down, and I was like,
That's exactly it.
either way, you've got one ox that's willing to work and one that is just like take care of me and drag me along.
Right.
So, I mean, you can even look alike and not be alike. So, I believe that a long enough relationship, a courtship
Mm-hmm.
with chaperones,
Yes.
I think that is the best way to go.
Well, you got to. I've heard people say, well, that's, ridiculous. We're adults. That's real ridiculous until you're in a situation where you're by yourselves or anything like that. And then and I feel like any guy who's really walking this walk would not want to even tempt you in that area. Because women like me from my past, sex was something that was just right there. It was like in my generation, I don't know why it wasn't shown as something to be, intimate with somebody you really cared about or whatever. It was just kind of thrown about, and you don't want to put yourself in that situation, and no guy would really want you to be in that situation. So they would want to have those kinds of, group dating or whatever but
Group dating.
group
You
dating.
need to change the wording there because that really sounded like
Oh, wait a minute.
group dating.
Chaperoning.
A chaperone date.
Yes. Yeah, that's what I don't know. That way it can be a controlled environment without any temptation.
Friendly.
Friendly.
It's a friendly environment
Yeah.
where no one feels pressured and no one feels tempted.
Yeah.
But you got this old chaperone sitting there going,
Why are you looking at her like that?
yeah, what you talking to her about that for?
What's that whisper?
Okay, are you ready?
Well, yeah, because it's weird because they probably didn't date back then. It was like Bobby Sue is going to marry Randy when he gets older.
But they have a long courtship. So,
Really?
yes, so Mary and Joseph,
Uh-huh.
they were betrothed, but they weren't, their marriage was not consummated.
Right.
So they were already considered marriage. The ketubah, the marriage contract, had already been signed.
They just hadn't consummated the marriage.
That's right, and they were chaperoned. When they came together to see each other, they were chaperoned. So they had time to meet each other and talk to each other, and families got together to do things. I'm
yeah.
just kind of going into what I think,
Right.
but they weren't allowed to be alone.
To go run off into the night.
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay.
So it was a long betrothal. It could be a 5-year. Our betrothal to Yahusha has been a long betrothal.
2,500. So is it since he was here or always? Because he went to prepare.
Actually, it's been since Sinai.
Yeah. I was going to say Exodus, but yeah, Sinai.
We became betrothed to him on Mount
Yeah.
Sinai.
Been a long time.
Yeah. So
What's going on?
we're getting to know our
That's true.
our
We are.
bridegroom. We're getting to know what he likes and what he expects of us, and we're doing what we think will make him pleased. And that's what it's supposed to be.
Yes.
That's what it would be in a dating situation. Get to know each other. Get to find out what kind of brownies do you like. Do you like them iced down with really yummy, gooey stuff? Are you gonna get on my feet again?
Did you see his little? I don't know what he was doing. Oh, there he goes.
We've got a dog down there. He's a big dog.
He got sad because the greens left. That's what it was.
Oh.
He went down all the way downstairs looking for him.
Okay, are we ready?
Yes.
We're about to finish.
Okay.
See, we're going to do this. I've got tons of verses that I have skipped over, so you're welcome. Is that a door opening?
We go to.
Hello? No, I don't think it was.
Okay.
Don't leave me.
Pearl? Okay.
Okay. Do not bring sin on the land which Yahweh your Elohim has given you as an inheritance. And I'm now in verse 5.
Okay, thank you.
When a man has taken a new wife, let him not go out into the army, nor let any matter be imposed upon him. He shall be exempt 1 year for the sake of his home, to rejoice with his wife and whom he has taken. I think that is a grand idea.
Me too.
I mean, a whole year to just work, be with your wife, no other obligations,
Right.
exempt from everything else. No one takes in pledge the lower or the upper millstone. So what is the millstone? On the mill where the ox walked around, there's a lower millstone and an upper millstone. You can't take either one for a pledge. When a man is found kidnapping any of his brothers, of the children of Israel and treats him harshly or sells him, then that kidnapper shall die. Thus you shall purge the evil from your midst.
I feel like this is the sons of Israel. I feel like they had a part in this. No kidnapping your brother and selling him to the slaves on the road, okay?
No, and don't treat him harshly.
Yeah.
Don't scream at him.
Yeah.
Don't, and especially don't let your dad think that you killed him.
Yeah.
Take heed in an outbreak of leprosy. Always should do that. To diligently guard and do according to all that the priests, the Levites, teach you as I have commanded them. So you shall guard to do. Remember that Yahweh your Elohim did to Remember what Yahweh your Elohim did to Miriam on the way when you came out of Mitzrayim. When you lend your brother a loan, do not go into his house to get his pledge. Stand outside, let the man whom you lent bring the pledge out to you. Ouch. And if the man is poor, do not sleep with his pledge. By all means, return the pledge to him at sundown, and he shall sleep with his own garment, and shall bless you, and it shall be righteousness to you before Yahweh your Elohim. Do not oppress a hired servant who is poor and needy of your brothers, or of your strangers who are in your land within your gates. I like that. So neither a brother who's a hired servant nor a stranger who's in your land. Don't oppress them. And the thing over here about the garment or the pledge, if I lent you money or if you lent me money and then you came over to my house to get the pledge, disrespect would be walking into my house and going, yeah, let me see, where is that pledge that you offered me, and then just taking it. It's respectable, and you're honoring me by allowing me to bring you the pledge.
Right.
So I think that's what that's referring to. Okay, don't oppress the poor, whether they're a stranger or your brothers. Give him his wages on the same day, and do not let the sun go down on it, for he is poor and lifts up his being to it, so that he does not cry out against you to Yahweh, and it shall be sin to you. Fathers are not put to death for their children, and children are not put to death for their fathers. Each is to die for his own sin. But there is a curse in Numbers. I want to look at that. Numbers 14, I think 18. I'm way far off. Are you there?
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
Yahuwah is patient and of great loving commitment, forgiving crookedness and transgression, but by no means leaving unpunished, visiting the crookedness of the fathers on the children to the third and fourth generation. But dying in place of or
That's not allowed.
Right. I've seen a couple of debates and stuff about that where, because people were trying to say that even Messiah, they were trying to say that what happened wasn't applicable because he was taking the sins of someone else. But that's not true. He is the Messiah. He was the salvation. He took that punishment. Our phones are going crazy.
Is it mine or yours? They're both just beeping up a storm.
Mine, huge.
Okay, so down to the third and fourth generation, this is something everyone needs to remember. Even though you don't die for your father's sins, or your kids don't die for your sins, guys, your sins can go down to the third and fourth generations. Do you want to load them down with that? I mean, some of those sins can be pretty bad.
It's just to die for his own sin. So, I mean, on that day, I can't be like, I'll take the blame for my son. I'll take his sin. I'll take his wrath. Number one, that's already been done for us.
Mm-hmm.
He's already said that.
Yeah.
But that wouldn't apply.
But you still have to repent.
Right.
So if there's no repenting,
There's no forgiveness.
it's not on his shoulders.
No. I actually wrote that in John the other day. That it was about bringing repentance and immersion unto forgiveness. Like there was a process to get to the forgiveness, and it started with repentance.
Yes. An acknowledgement that I've done wrong. So if you're acknowledging that you've done wrong, stop the cycle. And guys, I'm talking to you men, I'm talking to you women. Stop the cycle of sin now. If lying is a trait that is in your family and you know it and this is a sin that you have, stop the cycle because it's going to go down. Do you want your grandkids dealing with this? If theft is a cycle that needs to be broken, listen, it could be pornography, it could be drinking, it could be idolatry, it could be a number of things. Change, turn about, and let your children and your grandchildren see righteous living. This is what needs to happen.
That's how you break the curses.
That is.
I mean, by it.
And it's not easy.
No.
This is not easy. If it was easy, everybody would do it, right?
No.
Nobody wants to do it.
No, that's it. Nobody wants to do what it takes to break the curses because they have taken on the role.
I like my life.
Yeah.
I don't want to live by your rules.
I'm in control.
Yeah, I'm in control.
Yeah, it's one thing I love about the rooms of AA and NA. Alcoholics Anonymous, they'll say that there is a God and I'm not it. Like you have to quit taking on that role and that thinking that you have everything figured out the way you want to do it. And
Wow.
that's the only way to break the curses is to fall under the blessings.
Mm-hmm.
You start doing the things to be under the covering of the blessings. You fall out of the way of the curses, but they still visit you to the third and fourth generation.
If you break that cycle, break the cycle. Stop it from going to your son or your daughter. Stop that cycle. Okay. Do not, in
17.
verse 17, do not twist the right ruling of a stranger or the fatherless, nor take the garment of a widow. But you shall remember that you were a slave in Mitzrayim in Egypt, and that Yahweh your Elohim ransomed you from there. Therefore I am commanding you to do this word. When you reap your harvest, I like this one, when you reap your harvest in the field and have forgotten a sheaf in the field, do not go back and get it. Let it be for the stranger, for the fatherless, and for the widow, so that Yahweh your Elohim might bless you in all the work of your hands.
I think of Ruth.
That's exactly what I was thinking about.
Yeah.
And I've been the single mom, trying to support and take care of my kids. And I can remember it was a man that we knew. He brought a deer over one night. He had cut it up. He brought it over and he said, if you want to put this up, it's yours. And I told him 30 years later, I was like, you don't know how much that meant to me. Because, we had very little food in there. I think I'd had car trouble, and I was paying for a house, and all of this, and it meant the world to me. We've got to start thinking and looking at our friends and our neighbors and the people who are in our circles. Because this man and his wife, she was part of it. They didn't have to do that. But they provided, that deer meat provided months of meals for me and my kids. So you never know what gesture may help. One gesture can help a person.
I think that's why Allah gives us overabundance in some areas. It's so that we can share. And that doesn't necessarily mean money or food, or maybe it's time, maybe it's time to pray, maybe whatever it is that you have an abundance of, it's probably because Yahuwah has blessed you to share with the other people that are in your group or
That is very true.
Your area, or you can kind of tell sometimes moments when you should help somebody, or I feel like that's why Allah blesses us.
Yes.
Is because of that. He blesses us to bless
And we
others.
need to remember that. And we need to hold each other accountable. When we know, hey, don't go back and pick up that extra sheep that you left out there in the field. Don't go back and repick your grapes. Don't go back and repick your figs.
Right.
So, we need to be reminded of that sometimes because we don't think. Oh, I was looking at what Grant wrote on the board.
Vicky said we are
Wiki.
going to
I thought
read
it
the
said
Bible.
Wiki.
Wiki.
Wiki said we're going to read the Bible. I was like,
Whoa, Wiki said.
well, I don't know who Wiki is. But. Okay.
But that's a pretty picture, a beautiful picture of them leaving that area for the poor, for the needy, for those who.
Yes. And you never know what the needy or the poor look like.
Mm-mm.
I mean, you really don't, because people hide it really well.
Yeah, me and Seth were talking about that one verse about paying your hired servants that day, and we were going to talk to you about that. And then we realized we weren't poor. I was like, we gotta tell Vicky right here we can get paid daily. I said, she's gonna look at us and be like, you're not a poor brother, you know. But that was a different time. Those people were working probably for food.
Yes.
Like they needed that day's wages to feed their families or to provide for what they needed.
What has been will be again.
Yes.
So we don't know that times like this are not going to be in the future, and we need to know that. But I see more of a
Trading. Yep.
community.
Like a trading off.
Yes.
That was the way it was, though. Oh, let's go over to Bobby Joe's. He's got an extra 10 milking cows, and I bet I could give him some of these eggs.
Now I'm going to take them a chicken and some eggs.
Yeah.
When you beat your olive trees, I would never beat my olive trees.
Is that how you get the olives out, though?
I'm not going to beat you. Yeah, I guess so. Do not examine the branch behind you. There it goes. Leave what's there. Let it be for the stranger, for the fatherless, and for the widow. So what's weird to me is that, can you imagine a stranger coming or looking at your door, and you've got a bunch of people out there in your garden beating your olive trees. They're beating your olive trees.
Oh, Lee, man, I just took some from there yesterday. Yeah, I'd be a little wigged out. Have you seen the way they do that now?
Olive tree?
Or how they harvest in, I can't say this word, but those giant patches of trees, orchards?
Forest?
Orchards?
Orchard?
Yeah.
You can't say orchard?
I always want to call it an orchard. Orchard.
Orchard.
It's an orchard.
It don't mess up me. Orchard.
Orchards.
Orchard. Orchard. Peach orchard.
So they have these big machines that go out and they wrap around the trees and they shake them, and that's how all the fruit falls down. I saw it in California.
Oh, that can be healthy for the
That's
trees.
crazy, huh?
Yeah, it's got to rattle the roots.
Well, he's talking about beating them. So those people shaking their.
Beating is not going to be as violent as shaking the roots.
Yeah, it just kind of shakes the top of it, and all the stuff falls off.
Okay.
But I don't know what happens after that. I guess people come behind and pick it up, and it's weird.
Okay. Don't be beating your olive trees.
Hello, trees. I'm not eating trees.
When you gather the grapes of your vineyard, do not glean behind you. Let it be for the stranger, for the fatherless, and for the widow. And you shall remember that you were a slave in the land of Egypt or Mitzrayim. Therefore, I'm commanding you to do this word. So if I drop something on the ground while I'm harvesting, I'll leave it for any animals that may come along.
Right.
Just like, okay, this is for the snake in case he happens to be down there. So don't bite me. Eat your fruit.
Yeah. That's what I thought when I was planting my plants.
Mhm.
Oh, this is for me or for whatever animal may need to come eat of this.
Well, and nothing ate of it. John, was it good?
Yeah, I haven't had it yet. It's downstairs.
Oh my!
I thought it was full.
Don't leave it too long.
Okay.
You go ahead and read this.
Okay, when there is a dispute between men, they shall come unto judgment, and they shall be judged, and the righteous declared righteous, and the wrongdoer declared wrong. And it shall be if the wrongdoer is to be struck, that the judge shall cause him to lie down and be struck in his presence with a number of blows according to his wrong. 40 strikes he gives him, but no more, lest he strike him with many more blows than these, and your brother be degraded before your eyes. Do not muzzle an ox while it is threshing. When brothers dwell together and one of them has died and has no son, the widow of the dead man shall not become as strangers outside. Her husband's brother does go into her, and shall take her as his wife, and perform the duty of a husband's brother to her. And it shall be that the firstborn son which she bears does rise up for the name of his dead brother, so that his name is not blotted out of Israel. But if the man does not desire to take his brother's wife, then let his brother's wife go up to the gate to the elders and say, my husband's brother refuses to raise up a name to his brother in Israel. He does not agree to perform the duty of my husband's brother. The elders of the city shall then call him and speak to him, and he shall stand and say, I have no desire to take her. Then his brother's wife shall come to him in the presence of the elders and remove his sandal from his foot, and shall spit in his face, and answer and say, Thus it is done to the man who does not build up his brother's house. I kind of remember Boaz's, remember Ruth's Redeemer?
Mm-hmm.
He had to go to the gates and give his sandal to Boaz. That's
But
weird.
can you imagine? You remove his sandal and then you spit in his face?
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, because he said that he could not be her Redeemer. And I remember him, right? He gave her, he gave
Because
his,
her children would step into his inheritance.
yeah, he gave his sandal to Boaz at the gates where the elders were.
Yeah.
I don't remember any spitting, but I think Boaz didn't want him to be her Redeemer. I think he wanted to be. That's why Naomi went back. She was like, go over there. Get that stuff he's leaving behind.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. The elders of a city. I think I already read all that. So spit in his face and answer. And in Israel his name shall be called the house of him who had his sandal removed.
What a slap in the face.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, spit in the face.
And when men fight with one another, a man and his brother, and the wife of one shall draw near to rescue her husband from the hand of one striking him, and shall put out her hand and take a hold of him by the genitals, then you shall cut off her hand. Your eye does not pardon. I mean, is this literal?
You're welcome for me. No, no.
Yeah, you've done good to make sure I read the really interesting. You already knew, didn't you? Which is which?
This is your part.
Yeah.
All right, you got to answer this one.
I mean, I feel like.
What if it was an accident? What if she's just reaching out to push the man away? She accidentally touches
Like,
his
why is this in
genitals?
the Torah?
I don't know, because that's a very tender part of a man.
I know.
I mean, you can control a man.
But if my man was fighting, I would be.
You would be.
Yeah.
You'd be out there razzing it up with him. Girl,
Probably not.
you better
Today
not
I'm
be.
getting old. Definitely wouldn't grab the other one by his testicles, because then I would have to lose my hand. I mean, like, is it his manhood?
I'm sure that any man out there.
Like, she showed him up. Like, I'm just wondering. I'm trying to look at this literally
what
and
would your
spiritually.
husband think about you grabbing another man's genitals?
What would he think about you stepping in the middle of his man fight?
True fight. That's true words. True words.
You know, like, he would be like, you need to go back over there, Betty Crocker, and do your thing. Okay. We laughed about this last night. Yeah, Malachi. You shall not have in your bag different weights, a heavy and a light. You shall not have in your house differing measures, a large and a small. And you shall have a perfect and right weight, a perfect and right measure, so that they prolong your days on the soil which Yahuwah your Elohim is giving you. For all who do these and all who do unrighteously are an abomination to Yahuwah your Elohim. Be fair. Remember that what Amalek did to you on the way as you were coming out of Mitzrayim, how he met you on the way and attacked your back, all the feeble ones in your rear, when you were tired and weary, and he did not fear Elohim. Therefore it shall be, when Yahuwah your Elohim is giving you rest from your enemies all around you in the land, which Yahuwah your Elohim is giving you to possess as an inheritance, that you blot out the remembrance of the Amalek from under the heavens. Do not forget.
Don't forget to blot him out.
I feel like there's something in that. Amalek?
Well, Amalek will be wiped off the face of the earth
Don't forget.
at the end time. Don't forget. So don't forget this. We've got to remember that.
Yeah.
We might have to do it.
Okay, I'm done.
Oh, goodness.
Watching my hands though, you know.
Hey. So, let's look at Isaiah 54.
Let's do it.
We've come this far.
Might as well continue.
Absolutely. I'm not a very good voice impersonator thing. 54. Sing, O barren one, you who did not bear, break forth into singing and cry aloud, you who have not been in labor. For the children of the deserted one are more than the children of the married woman, said Yahweh. The married one, wow. The children of the deserted one, the one that was divorced, is the house of Israel.
Right.
The married woman is the house of Judah.
Ooh.
So the children of Israel are way more than the married woman. That just hit me. Like, I don't have a pen. And I'll forget.
Okay.
That makes sense.
That's cool.
The deserted one, the married one. Enlarge the place of your tent. Let them stretch out the curtains of your dwelling. Spare not. Lengthen your cords and straighten your stakes. Build big. Oh, are you kissing my foot?
No?
I'm talking to my boy. For you, he's loving on my foot. You shall break forth to the right and to the left, and your seed shall inherit the nations, and make the deserted cities inhabited. Wow. Do not fear, for you shall not be put to shame, nor hurt, you shall not be humiliated. For the shame of your youth you shall forget, and not remember the reproach of your widowhood anymore. For your Maker is your husband. So look, Yahusha died, we became a widow. For your Maker is your husband. Now he's your husband. Yahweh of hosts is his name, and the set apart one of Israel is your Redeemer. He is called the Elohim of the earth. That is a huge statement right there. He is one. He is a God. For Yahweh has called you like a woman forsaken and grieved in spirit, like a wife of youth when you were refused, declares your Elohim. For a little while I have forsaken you, but with great compassion I shall gather you. In an overflow of wrath I hid my face from you for a moment, but with everlasting loving commitment I shall have compassion on you. This is beautiful. So for a moment, like 6,000 years, he's hidden his face. But if you think about it, there's no time in the kingdom.
No.
There's no clocks, there's no time. We here on earth, we are so time oriented. We can't function without time. What's the date? What's the day? What's the festival? You know, instead of living as they live in the kingdom, we live by the watch or the clock. So it's very different. So possibly for a moment, perhaps he looked away.
And that's all it is for him.
For him, it could be a
Because
moment.
he's all omnipresent,
Everywhere at the
omnipotent.
same time.
Can't do those omnis.
Can you imagine?
No.
Can you imagine looking down through the sea of glass and maybe all the times are going on at once?
Oh.
I mean, there's no time.
So I've always thought in my mind, like, if we're all on different calendars or things like this, how are we all going to see him at once? And it's way beyond our little feeble minds.
We can't even begin. We cannot even begin to figure it out. How sad for us.
Wow. How great for us, because when we do finally realize what it is, we're going to be like, dude! We're going to be like, what's his name? Your Googlio friend. What? For real?
Are you serious?
Are you serious? Like, once we finally understand everything, and we had I feel like we're just going to have an instant knowing of all the questions and wonders of the world.
And we're going to be so wrong on so many of them.
Everything.
And it's not going to matter because we'll have truth. We'll finally have truth because that's all we've ever sought.
Right.
We seek after his truth of everything. And so to be able to get the truth and know it's coming straight from him, what a blessing. And everybody will be on the same page with everything. And it won't matter because there will be no calendar.
This would be
But
great.
there has to be
Be on
something
his
because
calendar.
we'll be on his calendar.
Yeah.
Wow. There's no telling what's going to look like.
It's going to be great. Okay.
What verse do we go through? 17?
I think we're on verse 9. Oh, no, we go through the whole thing, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Right? No. I don't know. Go ahead.
Okay, so he's going to bring us back home with great passion on Shemini Azarat. So think about that. 1,000 years reign.
1 through 10.
1,000 years reign. The 1,000 years is over. The 7,000th year is over. At the end of that 7,000th year, we go into Shemini Azarat, the 8th, eternity.
gonna be a relief with him.
Come.
Everything.
In an overflow of wrath, I hid my face from you for a moment, but with everlasting loving commitment, I shall have compassion on you, said Yahweh, your Redeemer. For this is the waters of Noah to me, in that I have sworn that the waters of Noah would never again cover the earth. So I have sworn not to be wroth with you, nor to rebuke you. It's a rainbow. It is a rainbow. For though the mountains be removed and the hills be shaken, my loving commitment is not removed from you, nor is my covenant of peace shaken, said Yahweh, who has compassion on you. Don't you love that he keeps repeating, I have compassion on Israel.
Loving commitment, not removed. His loving commitment is everlasting.
It is.
I love that.
So guys, this was just an overview of the rest of the laws before we get into next week. And next week is, oh gosh, we're going to be hitting the blessings and the curses.
I'm ready for that.
28 is amazing. 26, 27, all of it is just amazing this next week. So I'm ready to hit it. I was ready to hit it this week. I was so excited.
Should be extra prepared.
Yes, and I'll have my notebook so I can actually take notes. But guys, next week is going to be really good. We're going to be finishing up Romans pretty soon, and we're probably just going to, our mornings, we're going to keep going through the New Testament. Okay, sound good to you?
Yeah.
And our afternoons, once we finish the Torah Parshas, which means we don't have much longer now in Deuteronomy, and it does make me sad. We personally will start over in the Torah Parshas in Genesis. We will post the Torah Parsha each week, and we will have a brief study, possibly in the morning or in the afternoon of the Torah Parsha. Then we'll go into our New Testament study, and then we're going to continue on, starting with Joshua, and just go through the Tanakh.
Yeah.
Marching onward.
Because we have almost 2 years worth of Torah portion studies too for people to go back on it.
Is that all? We should have had more than that. Does it just go back 2 years?
That's all I have as far as. I think so.
Because I think we were doing them, maybe they erased them. We
Yeah.
were doing them probably 3 or 4 years ago.
Okay. I haven't seen those, but I only went from where it had left off and started forward. So I could go a little bit past on your live stream on your Facebook and see if I can find those.
Well, you know what? As long as we have, I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to do it.
So we can do those shorter spurts and then we'll post the full one, like maybe from this year with it.
Yes,
That way they can have.
that would be good, and we can. It's gonna be different what we do this year. It's gonna be fun because I'm ready to move on
Yeah, I'm
in
excited.
deep study.
Yeah.
Especially for Isaiah, Ezekiel, Jeremiah, Hosea.
Second Ezra.
Oh.
I would love to get off in those too.
So once we finish the New Testament, and it won't take long.
Okay.
Once we finish the New Testament, we're going to go into the apocryphal books like Ezra, Baruch. Guys, I really want to do the first book of Adam and Hua.
That would be good.
That one is just an amazing book. Right, Malachi?
Oh yeah, there he is.
Where?
Under there.
You can feel him too?
No,
Oh.
I just heard him set up, flop down. Oh yeah. He's
What
got
is
his
that?
tail on you.
Oh, it's his tail. His tail felt like a paw.
It's weird.
Well, it is
It's
weird.
little.
So guys, listen, we're not going to keep you any longer. It's been an hour and 48 minutes, and I think we zoomed through this pretty fast.
Yeah, we did. Got off on a few little tangents.
We did. But guys, Yah is very particular in what he wants his children to do and be. And you can see this by the cleanness that he expects of us. Not just, listen, we have to, this is our temple. We're bought and paid for by his blood. So we are his temple. We have to burn only food on this altar.
Right.
You cannot put in things that are non-food, because what does he say about the non-food items?
They're an abomination.
That have you see 20:25, Leviticus 20:25?
Here, little Bible.
My little Bible has got to be cleaned up.
No. You can't get a new one, can you?
I can't.
I can't.
I've
I have a
got
new one. Yeah.
but I can't replace this one. I'm
Uh-uh.
just like, this is like an old friend.
Yeah.
2025, and what's funny is the ones from the past that I've read through, I've given them away. Like I gave my father-in-law one, I gave my nephew one. So I've given those away that I've marked up, but this one, oh, I can't do it. And you shall make a distinction between clean beasts and unclean, and between unclean birds and clean. And do not make yourselves abominable by beast, or by bird, or whatever creeps on the ground, which I have separated from you as unclean. And you shall be set apart to me, for I Yahweh, am set apart, and have separated you from the peoples to be mine. So we, being abomination, if we put food in our bodies that's abominable, we can't approach him. Can't approach him, guys.
And it's that's why it gives us instances of people bringing unclean things or strange things into his temple.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing today.
Yes.
You can't mix the clean and the unclean.
No, you cannot. And if you're a new believer on this walk, if you're just starting this walk, if you've got questions, messenger us. If you're a new believer on this walk, just know and understand that you're not going to get all this at one time. It takes a while. The food laws are on Leviticus 11. The feasts are on Leviticus 23. They are repeated in Deuteronomy, both of them.
I always say, honor the Sabbath, keep the feast, eat clean, and let him do the rest.
Mm-hmm.
Study, do those things, and the rest of it just kind of starts happening.
Yeah, it's not hard.
No.
It's not hard, but what is hard is changing the way you eat, because everybody's going to ask if you turned into a Jew. What's hard, though, is on Friday and Saturday. On Friday night and Saturday, so much goes on, and you're going to miss out on a lot of things. Mm-hmm. You will. You have to be willing to say goodbye to all this and choose to follow after him. But guys, what I have seen is just tremendous blessings. And I'm not talking about financial rewards. I'm talking about blessings like the joy of peace and shalom that I have. Happiness that I haven't had ever before in my life has come from being obedient and honoring his Shabbat and his commands. Even eating, listen, the first thing I started with was eating clean, and learning to eat only what was food allowed me to draw nearer to him.
Right.
It was almost like an ascending offering, getting rid of everything else and being able to get closer. You can't draw near him if you are eating things that are not food, and that's just a fact. His word is opened up to you when you eat clean. Don't ask me why or how, but it's like my brain cleaned out. It may have been the toxins, it may have been the pork, who knows. But my brain was able to comprehend and understand his word. It's like a veil was removed. So eating clean, eating only food, what he has said is food, and honoring that made a huge difference in my understanding.
Mm-hmm. Just being obedient.
Yes.
And I mean, if you're set apart, then I feel like that's when the Ruach can really come in. You can't come in if you're defiled and you're putting those things in his temple.
Well,
The Spirit can dwell there at the same time.
Mm-mm.
So your understanding and knowledge increases as you're obedient, because it allows the Spirit to dwell within you. And then you have a connection to what he's trying to show you, your blessings, the joy, the peace, all of that comes. But once you start doing the things he's asking you not to do, the Spirit's not going to be there.
Valerie, what you're saying is so important, because you can't serve two masters. And so you're you're right now, you may be serving the wrong master and not know it, not even understand that, simply because it's what you've always done. Stop. Speak out, cry out to Yah, and let him lead you down the right path. You may already be on it. You may already be on that right path, but speak to Yah, let him lead you down the right road, because there's a huge difference between his path and Hasatan's path. Huge. There's nothing even similar about them. But I'm going to tell you that Hasatan can imitate Yah.
He can. And he said that path was hard to find.
Ooh,
I
yeah.
don't remember where it is, but I remember him saying, few find it.
Isn't it in Ezra?
Oh, is that? That's in the gospel. Hang on.
It's in the gospel?
He says it in the actual Bible. He says that. Hang on. Okay. Let's see. 7:14. The Matthew? Oh, okay. I don't know why I thought it was. Because the gate is narrow and the way is hard pressed, which leads to life, and there are few who find it. Matthew 7:14.
There you go.
Few who find it, and that's what Messiah is saying. You are going to find this narrow path that I'm calling you to.
And the path, in 2nd Ezra, it literally says it's just a pathway.
One person.
He's not saying this is a road.
Right.
He's not saying it's a freeway to the kingdom. There's not going to be that many people on this road, because guess what? There's so many people today who do not want what he has to offer. They don't.
Oh, wow. He's saying that through the gate. Enter in through the narrow gate. That gate. Enter in. You know how you're always saying, like, it's our righteousness that gets us through the gate, and his that gets us in it.
Our righteousness gets us only to it.
Right. His gets
us in it.
Yeah, enter in through the narrow gate, because the gate is wide. That is the way is broad that leads to destruction, and there are many who enter in through it.
Wow.
And then 2nd Ezra, it says it's so small that only one can walk at a time.
It does.
Like, that's
So
how
guys-
serious and lonely this walk can be. And if you need acceptance from everybody around you, seek him for strength to not be worried so much about it.
It makes a huge difference having family to walk through it. My first years walking this out, I was solo. I was by myself. And it's very lonely. And it's not any harder,
Right.
but it's very lonely because you have no one to go, wow,
That's what I mean.
people think I'm so weird. And nobody understands what you're talking about because they don't want to talk to you.
Because you're weird.
And a lot of times it's in your own house, it's in your own family. So it's sad, isn't it?
I didn't have it quite like that, but mine was in prison.
Oh, yeah.
And I was the only one doing it. And everybody would call me a Jew or be like, Valerie doesn't braid hair on Friday because she's a Jew or whatever. But I didn't care. You darn right I'm a Jew.
That took a lot of guts
Yeah.
to do what you did.
Just like you did at your
Uh-huh.
house. You know, it's a little different. I didn't know those people. I didn't care. I wouldn't
Uh-huh.
having to say no to my family.
Uh-huh.
No, I can't celebrate Christmas with you.
Mhm.
That's real. I was already a little stronger by the time I got home and he had separated me from my family probably for that reason.
Mhm.
Because I'm a pushover when it comes to them, you know? So
I do know.
the strength that you had to do that in your own home all by yourself, that's remarkable to me.
That's Yah.
Yes, it is.
That is just Yah. Only He can get us through things in times like that. But guys, if you're out there, you're wanting to start this walk, listen, Valerie and I, Seth, he's a man. If you're a male, you're going to want to talk to one of us and just link up with someone.
Yeah.
Link up with Parable of the Vineyard. They have a lot of followers. A lot of
A
followers.
lot of great teachings.
And a lot of great teachings. I love his teachings. But there are some good teachers out there. There's Rico Cortez. There is Trump and Truth.
Steve Berkson.
There's Steve Berkson is really good.
He does.
He is he may be softer now.
I love a lot of his older teachings.
Yes.
The Heart is the Matter.
It was a good teaching.
The Father and the Son. I mean, there's some really great information.
Yes.
Simply called out believers.
I believe that Steve Berkson gives you a good foundation.
Definitely.
I think he gives you a really good foundation. So if you're just starting, you might want to look at Steve Berkson. Is it MTOI?
Mm-hmm.
Is his website? Look at his teachings. Look at who's someone is the called out believers.
Somebody called out believers. Isaac. With
Isaac.
all things use discernment, though, because I mean
Mhm.
we've all been watching everybody makes mistakes.
Yes.
Or everybody maybe says the wrong thing sometimes. And if you know the word, then it'd be
Yes.
easy. But Adam has a basics folder. For people who are brand new to Torah or brand new to even this walk at all, he has a folder, and it's called the basics, and kind of like an introduction, like who will go into the kingdom.
Yeah. Wow.
How do you honor the Sabbath? What are the feast days? All these questions about that are in that.
And these are important.
Yes.
And I'm going to tell you, get a good Bible.
Yes.
And honestly, any Bible will work.
Yeah.
But you need to learn what his name is. His name's Yahweh. His name is Yahusha. Our Savior is Yahusha. Our Father is Yahweh. The Ruach HaKodesh is the Spirit. They have names. They're not just the Father and the
Titles.
Son. And there is no Trinity. So
Yep.
they're a God. They're one. And the Torah is the law. It is the first 5 books of our Bible. But get a good Bible. Start in Genesis. Take your time and study it. And what you're going to find, you'll go through the first time. So we were talking earlier. Valerie's been through 3 times. She's read through the Word 3 times. I've read through a few more times than that. But every time you read it, it changes. You grow. Something changes within you. The seed doesn't go out void.
Can I still read things and I'm like, did I read that before? Was that in there the first time I read it? Because I don't remember that. But it's just you change, and as you grow, you need to keep reading.
That's it.
The Torah portion is new every year.
It is.
Every year.
So I used to, and I thought this for a long time. I was like, oh my goodness, you study the same thing every year, this exact same Torah portion, but it's never exactly the same.
No.
It grows and it evolves.
And your life is different. Whatever you're going through.
Yes.
Like just then, I did not get anything about divorce when we just read it last night.
Mm-hmm.
But he showed me a whole nother thing about divorce when we listened and read through it today.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's ever changing,
Yes.
growing. I mean, to me, I really feel like the word is almost alive. So it's always changing when we study
It
it.
is alive.
It's deeper.
It's a
and
living,
deeper and
breathing word, and it does. It changes and it goes deeper. And I mean, the tribe of Yehuda, the Pharisees say that there are 20 layers. Somebody's probably going to correct me. 20 layers deep of understanding. I'm not even probably past the third,
Mm-mm.
and I'm amazed by the word.
Beautiful.
It is. So we're not going to keep y'all any longer, and I can't even see how long. It's
2 hours
and 2 minutes
and 2 minutes
and 18
and
seconds.
21 seconds. Okay,
22.
22.
Stop.
Bye.
Okay, but Shabbat
Shalom.
and we've had fun with y'all
Yes.
today, and I apologize for preparing the wrong Torah portion. But next week we get the Torah portion that is my
Blessings
favorite. All right,
and curses.
it is. It's going to be awesome. And
If you don't.
till later, shalom, and choose wisely. Start this walk. Listen, guys, start this walk. If you haven't heard anything else we say, start this walk. Start being obedient to the Torah. Start honoring His Sabbath. Everything that Valerie said. Eat clean, honor His Sabbath, read His
Change
Torah,
it.
and learn what it is.
He'll change you. It's so simple.
Yeah, it will bless you. It will protect you. And it will change you every single day that you read it. And the change will be dramatic, and you will begin changing into what your Savior is.
Mm-hmm.
So, do it. We love you, and shalom. Where's the button?
It's over there.